The push to upgrade the Pacific Highway has been a bugbear for 6 state premiers since Bob Carr first promised a new dual-lane highway in 1996. The road is one of Australia's most lethal, with notorious black spots like Urunga and Clybucca still experiencing accidents and claiming lives. While successive federal and state governments have co-funded millions of dollars, around 330 kilometres, or half the length of the highway, remains dangerous single-lane road. The final delivery date has slid to 2016. The incoming O'Farrell government now has 5 years to co-fund, plan and construct one of Australia's most vexing infrastructure projects. But with new Commonwealth estimates exposing a multi-billion-dollar shortfall, the question now being asked is how the federal ALP and the New South Wales Coalition will work together to meet a punishing finish line. Greg Miskelly reports.
The driver killed yesterday on the Pacific Highway was so badly injured, his body still hasn't been identified.
People that we know seem to be killed almost on a weekly or a fortnightly basis.
The young men died after their car collided with a truck last night.
Between 1995 and 2009, 400 people died on that road, and that is an alarming, tragic, terrible number.
The Pacific Highway is a trail of tears for hundreds of families in New South Wales.
It was a tragedy unparalleled on Australian roads.
Almost 22 years ago, 2 infamous bus accidents outside Grafton and Kempsey prompted Coroner Ken Waller to demand the entire highway be upgraded to dual carriageway.
Makes me feel very angry at the pathetic performance by 2 governments to get this important work done.
Can I say to the member who has raised the question that I can very much commit to him that the government is committed to duplicate the Pacific Highway by 2016.
In the May budget, the Commonwealth Government announced a 3-year, $1 billion package to deliver on road building. But despite this revenue stream and a further $3 billion already spent by the Gillard government, the spending trickles out in 2014. So with a 2016 delivery date, alarm bells are ringing as to whether the project is on track.
The cost of delaying the upgrade of this highway alone is quite alarming. Had we finished this highway 10 years ago, we would have saved out of the federal and state coffers around $2 billion.
Peter Khoury represents over 2 million NRMA members and says the failure to finish the road carries a massive social impact.
The reality is the longer we take to completely upgrade the highway, and we are a long way off, the more lives will be lost. It is a dangerous road. It is affecting the economy. It is affecting families who drive on the road.
As someone who lives in close proximity to the highway, I often hear the sirens of...
Luke Hartsuka is the federal member for Cowper, and his seat takes in a notorious stretch of highway from Kempsey to Coffs Harbour.
The ongoing cost to the community is not only a financial cost as far as the cost of road trauma, but it is a community tragedy when the people that we know seem to be killed almost on a weekly or a fortnightly basis.
Luke Hartsuka says his community is fed up after 2 decades of delay. He says more federal funds are needed.
There's just not enough money in the budget, and 2016 basically means that virtually every road project needs to be started within about 2 years. That's clearly not going to happen.
How much has the government committed on this duplication till now?
Last week, in Senate estimates hearings, the Transport Secretary, Mike Murdoch, was grilled for precise funding details on the upgrade. He revealed that despite new money brought forward by the federal government, there was still an unfunded gap of over $6 billion.
Wouldn't that leave a $2.1 billion funding hole? Even going on to $6.7 billion, we talked about even more, a bigger funding hole than $2.1 billion now.
That's correct. The 6 to 7 billion is on top of the 4.1, which is already committed.
Mr Murdoch in Senate estimates really billed the cat on the issue of the cost of the road when he said that it would take another $7 billion to complete the road, and that's in 2011 figures.
Well, there's nothing new in that statement. We've always said that more needed to be done. The precise estimate is unclear. That's why you do the planning and get it right.
Anthony Albanese is unfazed by talk of billion-dollar blowouts and says his government is on track.
we delivered $1 billion additional funding in the budget. Previously, we had a $3.1 billion commitment. What that additional money will enable us to do is to ensure that all of the planning is completed. It will also allow for construction to occur on the Fredericton to Ewan-Guy section of the road. This is the section where the Clybucca bus crash occurred, Australia's single worst road disaster, more than 20 years ago, and it still hasn't been fixed.
Costs for the project are enormous. The RTA is still to build 16 separate projects, including what will become Australia's longest bridge near Kempsey. They say while the delivery is state-of-the-art, the planning, engineering and construction is painstaking.
One would always like to flick your fingers and complete it tomorrow. The truth is that right now there are more than 1,000 people at work on the Pacific Highway.
The leader of the National Party in the Legislative Council, Duncan Gay, is the state's new roads minister.
We are determined to do better and are supportive of the Prime Minister's goal of completing the duplication by 2016.
He says he will hold up his end with the Commonwealth to deliver the road on time.
My aim in my negotiations with Treasury is to match the funding, to make sure that New South Wales upholds its end of the deal.
But he says in their May budget, the Commonwealth diverted existing money from projects like the M4 East Extension. And so the additional funding is not truly a $1 billion new investment.
Frankly, it's a lot less than that. We were disappointed in the way it was couched, but new money's new money, and there certainly was new money and an undertaking to go further. That's what I like.
Dual carriageways are very expensive to build. Requires a lot of money, billions of dollars in fact. You can do better in the initial stages. You can actually build a 2+1 system, which we know works in Sweden, for a lot less to fix the problem.
Raphael Gribbietta is a road safety expert at the University of New South Wales. He fears further construction delays are inevitable and is looking at short-term alternatives to the RTA's expensive infrastructure.
What it is almost a retrofit system to the existing road structure that you've got. When you're travelling along, it separates other vehicles through a medium wire rope barrier. Those vehicles, it reduces head-on crashes.
Peter Curry says road users deserve nothing less than a dual carriageway.
There is about 200 and something kilometres of the Pacific Highway that hasn't even been planned for. That includes the Coffs Harbour bypass. We need to start planning for the remaining sections of the Pacific Highway so that when the money does become available, it can be spent straight away.
Every time there's a life lost, that's a family that's affected. Children, husbands, wives, parents, grandparents that are affected because of this road. And that's why we have a responsibility to work together to finish this road as soon as possible. People just will not understand, nor should they, if we start fighting over this issue.